2024. The Fafi Wetland Catchment Plan, Management Plan, Legal Notice number 144 of 2024. The Enyam Mpui Wetland Catchment Protection Order, Legal Notice number 142 of 2024. The Meroroni Mabruk Wetland Catchment Protection Order, Legal Notice number 143 of 2024. The Siani Wetland Catchment Protection Order, Legal Notice number 144 of 2024. The Kibirong Wetland Catchment Protection Order, Legal Notice number 145 of 2024. Reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the following hospitals for the year ended 30th June 2022. Bungoma County Referral Hospital, County Government of Bungoma. Bumula Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Bungoma. Kimilili Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Bungoma. Sirisia Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Bungoma. Webuye Hospital, County Government of Bungoma. Siaya County Referral Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Ruambwambwa Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Yala Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Uyawi Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Got Agula Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Ambira Sub-County Hospital, Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Sigomere Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Madiani Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Siaya. Tigoni Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Kigumo Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Lari Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Karatu Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Thika Level 5 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Nyathuna Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Lusingeti Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Wanginge Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kiambu. Subukia Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Nakuru. Bondeni Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Nakuru. Langalanga Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Nakuru. Naivasha Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Nakuru. Kisumu County Referral Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. Nyagoma Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. Nyakash County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. Muhoroni County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. Masongo Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. Rabwor Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. Lumumba Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu. I beg to lay.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
We shall defer that particular order. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The Honorable Senator for Nairobi County, Senator Edwin Sifuna. You had sought time to substantiate certain claims that you made. You may now proceed to substantiate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. If I remember correctly, the directive from the chair was that the Hansard would be produced so that I know what I need to substantiate.
Very well. It shall be produced in a short while. In the meantime, we will proceed to request for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Senator for Embu County, Senator Alexander Mundigi.
Request for statement on rising cases of fires in boarding secondary countrywide. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise person to standing order 53.1 to check a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the rising cases of fires in boarding schools countrywide. Mr. Speaker, I wish to convey my heartfelt condolences to the families who have tragically lost their children due to the recent fire outbreaks in various schools. I also wish a speedy recovery to the children that were injured during the incidents. In the statement, the committee should 1. State whether all boarding schools have complied with government building codes and whether learners have any training on how to respond to emergency situations. 2. Explain whether there is an appropriate age upon which a learner should be admitted into boarding schools and whether all boarding schools have matrons accommodated with the dormitories to help runners in case of emergencies. State any plans the Minister of Education has put in place to make sure that all schools with boarding facilities are well equipped with emergency kit and equipment, emergency exit, security alarms, and well-trained security guns. And 4. Outline any actions the Minister has put in place to ensure all boarding schools are registered and that they have guidance and concerning expert at hands to attend to learners, their families, and staff in the important occurrence of a disaster. Senator Alexander Mundigi, Embu County, DP, Deputy Democratic Party.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, thank you and good afternoon. I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding a clash over the copper and gold mines in Nyatike sub-county in Migori County, which occurred on 14th September 2024. Mr. Speaker, in this statement, the committee should investigate the circumstances that led to the clash at the Makalda copper and gold mines, which resulted in multiple injuries and the destruction of vehicles, outlining any measures the government has put in place to prevent recurrence of such incidences. Mr. Speaker, in that statement also, the committee should provide details of all local and foreign miners operating in the Makalda and Osiri copper and gold mines in Nyatike sub-county and in Masara copper and gold mines in Suna West sub-county, all in Migori County, and confirm whether they are licensed and compliant with the mining strategic mineral regulations of 2017. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should also ascertain whether there are any corporate social responsibility, commonly known as CSR, projects initiated by the foreign miners in the local community and determine how they are addressing environmental degradation. Mr. Speaker, the committee should also establish whether the foreign miners are conducting CSR activities through the Copper Hill exploration and mining Resources Company Limited or the Macalda Copper Hill SACCO or otherwise, and also clarify their role in protecting the mines. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should establish whether the Copper Hill Exploration and Mining Resources Company Limited and the Macalda Copper Hill SACCO undergo regular audits, and if so, provide their recent audited accounts and the list of officers in charge. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for statement on the fate of casual workers serving in the Health Department of Bungoma County Government. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare concerning the fate of casual workers serving in the Health Department of Bungoma County Government. In the statement, the committee should, 1, explain whether there are any plans to regularize the employment of over 700 casual workers in the Health Department of Bungoma County Government, either by placing them on contractual or permanent and pensionable terms. 2, clarify whether the advertisement made in August 2024 for various vacancies, including clinical officers, medical officers, and pharmacists, to be filled by the County Public Service Board of Bungoma County, was internal or external, and provide reasons why the nature of the advertisement was not specified. 3, define the conditions and terms under which the casual workers are presently delivering services to the county. Senator Wafula Wakoli David, MP, Senator, Bungoma County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Hamida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My statement is regarding mental health clinics and availability of qualified mental health care providers in each county. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the state of mental health clinics and the availability of qualified mental health care providers in each county and in the country. In the statement, the committee should detail the number and distribution of mental health clinics in each county, including any disparities in infrastructure and access to services in underserved regions, such as rural and marginalized areas. Number 2, present a report on the availability of qualified mental health care providers, including psychiatrists, psychologists, psychiatric nurses, and counselors in each county, highlighting any existing gaps in human resource capacities. Number 3, provide information on any ongoing recruitment, training, and capacity building initiatives by both national and county governments to improve mental health care service provision. Number 4, highlight current government strategies, budgetary allocations, and any collaborative efforts with county governments aimed to improving in mental health services, particularly in counties facing shortages of clinics or qualified personnel. The last but not the least, explain whether there are plans to establish specialized mental health centers in each county to ensure equal access to care for individuals suffering from mental health conditions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Miraj.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing regarding the status of allocation of housing units to former tenants of Buxton Estate in Mombasa County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing, in its report on a petition to the Senate by Mr. John Tsuma and other residents of Buxton Estate regarding eviction from and the demolition of Buxton Estate in Mvita constituency of Mombasa County, recommended, among other things, that the county government of Mombasa should allocate its share of 184 housing units to former tenants or petitioners, and 2, the State Department of Housing and the County Government of Mombasa to develop a mechanism to ensure the remaining 336 tenants, petitioners, acquire units in Buxton Estate through tenancy purchase scheme under the National Housing Fund and submit a report to the committee within 60 days. These recommendations are yet to be implemented. I therefore request the committee to: 1, state the number of housing units the county government of Mombasa has received as part of its share in phase 1 of Buxton Estate, providing a list of beneficiaries of these housing units. 2, explain why the county government has not yet issued commitment letters of its share of the housing units to the 184 former tenants of Buxton Estate and the additional 336 former tenants who are to acquire the units through the tenant purchase scheme. And 3, state reasons for the delay in allocating housing units to the former tenants past the timelines of the relocation action plan. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise again on pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding the steps taken by the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, in maintaining banking hygiene with specific reference to cases of accounts of deceased persons. Mr. Speaker, sir, many banks in Kenya subject the common wananchi to a lot of unnecessary anguish, especially whenever there is a death of an account holder, customer involved. Mr. Speaker, sir, one such case involves Miss Nur Ali Islam Jaizan, a widow of the late Anwar Muhammad Bayusuf. They owned a transport firm called Bayusuf Brothers Limited and operated on an account with Diamond Trust Bank. The widow was made aware of an alleged overdraft transaction made by DTB on 6 June 2011 to the tune of 59,300,000 against the deceased accounts. She confirms that she was not aware of the transaction, did not authorize it, and said amount was never credited to the company's account. As the account was dormant with zero balance during the period of the overdraft was alleged to have been made. On further inquiry, the bank claimed the deceased issued the instructions, but in the absence of any documentation, it is difficult to verify this transaction claim. Mr. Speaker, sir, the DTB went ahead and auctioned land number 194, section 6 MN for cash 70 million, as well as the company tracks following the due legal process, and still claims an outstanding balance of more than 17,628,748. Yet the total outstanding amount of cash, 52,371,252, has since been fully settled. Mr. Speaker, this prompts the widow to lodge a complaint with the Department of Banking Fraud at Mombasa branch of the CBK. To no avail, since the information sought has not been forthcoming. Contrary to Article 35(1)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, in the statement, the committee should: 1, outline any steps the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, has taken to resolve the matter and furnish the Senate with an elaborate report detailing compliance with regulations. 2, explain specific measures CBK took to sanction DTB for failing to provide its customer the information sought, and disclose full information on who authorized the loan and the transactions therein. And 3, state the measures taken by the CBK to ensure that businessmen do not suffer from predatory lending. Senator Miraj Abdullahi, date 23rd September 2024. Thank you, sir.
Senator Miraj, you had another statement. Good. Senator Wakili Sige.
Mr. Speaker, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the use of excessive force by police officers against demonstrators in Bomet County, which led to the death of one Mr. Robert Chepkwony and injuries to several other. Mr. Speaker, sir, small-scale tea farmers in Bomet County came out in their numbers on the 18th of September 2024 to demonstrate against perceived exploitation and low tea bonuses. The demonstrators were, however, met with a brutal response from the police, who deployed forceful measures, including the use of live ammunition, to disperse them. This tragic action led to the death of Robert Chepkwony, a 27-year-old resident of Chepkitach in Kimori village, and caused injuries to several others. Among the injured persons, Mr. Speaker, were Mr. Japhet Kipkirui Tawet, a 32-year-old resident of Chepkesio village, who sustained a gunshot wound to his thigh, and Mr. Gilbert Kipyegon, a 17-year-old boy of Chemusore village, all from Mogogoshek ward, who still has a bullet lodged in his knee. Mr. Speaker, sir, this tragic incident has sparked outrage within the community, highlighting deep-seated issues between the tea farmers and players in the tea processing sector, and raises serious concerns about the way law enforcement officers handle public demonstrations. I therefore request the committee, Mr. Speaker, in the statement 2.1, provide a detailed account of the events that led to the killing of Mr. Robert Chepkwony and injuries to others during the demonstrations by small-scale tea farmers on 18th of September 2024, specifically highlighting the involvement of and use of police. 2, explain the rationale for the use of force by police officers, stating whether they followed the established protocols for managing public protest. 3, the committee should provide a status update on the investigations into the tragic incident, outlining actions taken against the police officers involved, as well as measures put in place to guarantee accountability. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the committee is requested to provide information on any support and or compensation processes offered to the injured protesters and to the family of the late Mr. Chepkwony. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator S.C. Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request for a statement on the tragic death of Dr. Desri Mora Obwogi, a medical intern at the Gatundu County Referral Hospital, Kiambu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the tragic death of Dr. Desri Mora Obwogi, a medical intern at Gatundu County Referral Hospital, Kiambu County, in a suspected case of suicide. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a comprehensive account of the circumstances surrounding the death of Dr. Desri Mora Obwogi at Gatundu County Referral Hospital, including any immediate and contributing factors identified during the investigations. 2, describe Dr. Desri Mora's workload prior to her death, including the number of hours she worked during her last shift, and how this workload compares to the existing labor laws and medical practice standards for medical interns in public hospitals. 3, indicate whether Dr. Mora requested a transfer from Gatundu County Referral Hospital prior to her death, and if so, provide details on the reasons for this request and why it was not acted upon, while also providing information on how many medical interns have sought or obtained transfers from the hospital in the past year, including the reasons for those transfers and any other patterns of dissatisfaction with working conditions. 4, state the current number of medical interns and other healthcare personnel deployed at the Gatundu Referral Hospital, and how these numbers compare with the established staffing norms and standards for a referral hospital of its size. 5, state whether medical personnel at the hospital, including the deceased, received their salaries or their other compensation on time, and address any issues related to delays or non-payment of dues. Finally, outline the steps taken by the Ministry of Health and the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council to ensure the mental health, well-being, and overall welfare of interns and medical personnel in public hospitals, and the measures that are in place to prevent similar tragedies from recurring. Senator Okenyuri Esther, MP.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 56, 1B. The Chairperson Standing Committee on Energy, Senator Wamatenga. What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna? You know, certainly it cannot be a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to remind you that I have now obtained the Hansard. Perhaps you can direct what you needed me to do.
Yes, once we are done with the statements, I'll give an opportunity to proceed to substantiate.
Mr. Speaker, I request that this matter be dispensed with. It's causing unnecessary tension in the
there's
country.
no tension, Honorable Senator. Absolutely no tension. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, he's also my member of the committee. I don't know why he wanted to interrupt. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B to make a statement on the activities of the Standing Committee on Energy for the second quarter of the third session, covering the period commencing 1st of April to 31st August 2024. Honorable Speaker, during the period under review, the committee held a total of 28 sittings, during which it considered and concluded on 11 bills, no one bill, and one inquiry. Attached in the statement is a schedule of the legislative business undertaken by the committee during this period, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee considered and concluded 9 statements. 6 statements are pending before the committee, Honorable Speaker, and we have scheduled to meet the CS after there is familiarization tour of the ministry, because in the Ministry of Energy we have a new CS who was appointed recently during the broad-based system of government, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in addition, the committee finalized its inquiry into the tragic LBG explosion that occurred in Mradi area of Nairobi County, Honorable Speaker, on the 1st of February 2024. Honorable Speaker, in the previous session, the committee concluded an inquiry into the high cost of electricity in the country. We went round, met stakeholders, Honorable Speaker, and their recommendations that the committee has made, including unlocking. There was a memorandum put in by the National Assembly in issuance of new PPAs, Honorable Speaker, there is a motion already before this House that we will be requesting Senate to resolve to unlock that particular memorandum, Honorable Speaker, so that the Ministry of Energy and Kenya Power will go ahead and unlock this issue so that we don't run short of electricity in the near future, Honorable Speaker, because with the affordable housing program that's going on, we anticipate there'll be many people who would want to join the grid in the next 1 or 2 years, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I wish to highlight a significant challenge that has been severely constrained the committee's operations. Are you aware, Honorable Speaker, the Senate was hard hit by budget cuts, and since July up to date, Honorable Speaker, the committee has not been able to go for any retreat or even meet outside the presence of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, because of lack of resources. I hope the Liaison Committee and the House Business Committee will sit down and resolve these issues so that we can undertake business outside the presence of Parliament, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I believe that is what we had, and I wish to table.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the standing order to make statement relating to activities, the Committee on Finance and Budget for the second quarter of the third session covering the period between April and August 2024, we've had a sitting. We've had a total of 44 sittings during this period. We've done 47 statements. We've done 6 bills, and we tabled 7 reports. In the reporting period, Mr. Speaker, the committee held consultative meetings with the National Treasury and Economic Planning, CRA, Society of Clerks at the table, County Assembly Forum, Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, that is ISPOC, Budget Hub, Office of the Control of Budget, and the Council of Governors. Mr. Speaker, the committee also conducted a recruitment process for the nomination of a person on behalf of the county governments to Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Mr. Speaker, during the reporting period, the committee carried out pre-publication scrutiny and examined 2 legislative proposals on proposed public finance laws amendment, Bill 24, and proposed amendments to the Public Procurement Asset Disposal Act 2015. In processing of statements, Mr. Speaker, the committee adopted a mechanism where the response is availed to the senator, immediately it's received from the relevant agency or county. By county, we meant the governors. The senator is required to provide any issues that need clarification within 14 days. Mr. Speaker, I've met with colleagues whereby they've always questioned their statements in our committee, especially statements regarding pending bills. And the requirement, as I repeat and I state, is that we give the feedback, the Secretariat gives the feedback, and requires the senators to report back within 14 days. In the event you have not reported back to the committee within the same 14 days, the assumption is then you're satisfied with the feedback or the response that you've received from the agency or the governor. During the current quarter, the committee is scheduled to consider, among others, the COB County Government's Budget Implementation Reports for financial year 23-24, the County Ward Equitable Development Bill, Senate number 20, the PFM Amendment Bill 24, approval hearing of the nominee, Mr. David Kibet, for the position of the DG, Competition Authority, which we've actually did wind up today, and a report shall be tabled on the same. We had, it was a joint committee with the National Assembly. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the committee is scheduled to consider the status of implementation of the House resolutions on county governments pending bills. On this matter, a meeting has been convened, Mr. Speaker, on the 3rd of October with the National Treasury and Economic Planning and the Controller of Budget to appraise the House on the status. Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize that matters pending bills cut across the 47 counties. And so we saw it wise to invite all senators, whereby the Controller of Budget will in place, Ministry of Treasury, so that they can be able to bring to light and give more information in this regard. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I really wish to thank your office and the Office of the Clerk of the Senate for the continuous support it has accorded our committee, and more sincere thanks to our Secretariat, all of them led by our lead clerk, Gitonga, and the team, the legal team. Our Secretariat has been 100% very supportive to this committee. Lastly, I wish to thank most sincerely all the members of the Finance Committee. It has been teamwork for us to be where we are. It is one of the busiest committees in this Senate, and the commitment has been full, and I really want to thank all the committees led by the Chair, Senator Boni, Senator Faki, Senator Shakila, Senator Tabitha Karancha, Senator Onyonka, and Senator Eddie Okech, and yours truly. That is the status, and so, Mr. Speaker, I wish to table.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B to make a statement related to the activities of Standing Committee on Health for second quarter of third session covering period between April to August 2024. During the period under review, the committee held a 28 sitting, during which it considered 1 legislative proposal, 12 statements, 2 petitions, and undertook the county oversight and networking visit. Attached to this statement is a schedule of legislative business considered by the committee. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, the Speaker of the Senate conveyed the Senate message from the Cabinet Minister, the Ministry of Health forwarding the names of Mr. Patrick Omandi Okoth, Omoth, EBS, for appointment for the position of Director General of Health. Mr. Speaker, the committee sitting joint with National Assembly Department Committee on Health conducting approval hearing on suitability, competency, experience, and integrity of the candidate, and consequently prepare and adapt its report, which was tabled on 1st of August 2024. Mr. Speaker, in the report period, the committee conducted the county oversight network engagement in 4 counties, that is Kiambu, Taita Taveta, Kwale, Mombasa County. The objective of this engagement was to assess the status and the quality of the infrastructure, facility, and the hospital equipment, the provision and decentralization of ambulance and emergency service, and automation of health provision system for the patients, drugs, and commodity management. The committee further sought information into adequacy of healthcare personnel in the counties, the gaps, the challenges, if any, the counties face in regards to the healthcare workers. Mr. Speaker, the committee also held consultative meetings with the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors and the Health Workers Union during the countrywide health workers strike on April I'm happy to report that some of our intervention culminated in amicable return to work formula agreement signed between the national government, county government, and health workers union. Mr. Speaker, in the reports period, the committee conducted pre-publication scrutiny on the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill 2024 proposed by Senator Catherine Muma, MP, and recommend its publication. The bill, which seeks to regulate the production, sales, advertisement, and smoking on nicotine products, including the use of nicotine patch and electronic nicotine deliver service on consequence introducing in the Senate by the way of first reading on 6th of August 2024. Accordingly, during this quarter, the committee is scheduled to consider presentations received by way of writing memorandum, prepare and table its report on the bill. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, committee concluded its considerations of the petition of Kenyatta University medical students on the management and the use of Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral, and Research Hospital by medical students at Kenyatta University and tabled its report. Mr. Speaker, committee also received petition regarding alleged medical negligence and staff incompetency leading to the death of Ms. Nati at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. The committee is scheduled to consider this petition and consequently reports to the petitioner as stipulated in the order paper. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, 12 statements were referred to the committee for consideration, increasing the tiling of the pending bills to the 47. It is noteworthy that the committee has also concluded the consideration of 37 statements of the 48 statements referred to it, representing the completions work the rate of 44%, whereas the committee has sought a response from relevant agency and the majority of the responses received have been unsatisfactory or contain inadequate information. Mr. Speaker, with therefore gone, the committee has categorized all the pending statements into a broad thematic area and scheduled the meeting with the relevant agency to deliberate on issues raised on their specific mandates. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to thank your office and the office of the Clerk of the Senate for continue supporting according to the committee in its work in executing its mandate. Mr. Speaker, lastly, I also wish to thank the members of the committee for their diligence and contributions during the committee activities. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, before I allow comments on those statements, allow me to make the following communication. As you may recall, the sitting of the Senate held on Thursday, 19th of September 2024, the Senator for Nairobi County, Senator Edwin Sifuna, MP, made utterances while contributing to a statement sought by Senator Esther Okenyuri, MP, concerning alleged killings of residents of Bombaba ward in Kisii County. The Senate Majority Leader rose on a point of order, pursuant to Standing Order 1051, seeking the intervention of the Speaker to require the Senator for Nairobi County to substantiate the claims made. From the debate, there was a contention as to whether Senator Edwin Sifuna, MP, made claims that necessitated a point of order from the Senate Majority Leader. You may have your seat, Minority Leader. The Chair thereafter requested for the Hansard report to be availed in the next sitting. The requirement by the Speaker in this matter was to do the following. 1, establish the connection between the point of order by the Senate Majority Leader and the utterances made by the Senator for Nairobi City County, and 2, make a determination on whether substantiation is indeed required. Honorable Senators, from the Hansard of that day, I have established the statement made by Senator Edwin Sifuna MP, which stated the point of order by the Senate Majority Leader to be the following, and I quote, "Even this young member of County Assembly, MCA from Wajir, was plucked from the streets of Nairobi. We would want all of us leaders to take a very strong position and ask William Ruto. We will not ask him about the other promises he will break, even if he does not build the roads and stadiums he promised us. Can he please stop killing us, stop abducting people and bodies showing up in quarries?" Now, Honorable Senators, Standing Order 1051 states as follows: a senator shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. Having reviewed the Hansard record, I rule that the utterances by Senator Edwin Sifuna MP need substantiation pursuant to Standing Order 105. That being the case, I direct that Senator Sifuna tables evidence to his statement. Further, pursuant to the Standing Order 105.2, a senator is required to substantiate the allegation instantly or not later than the next sitting day, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121. So the Senator for Nairobi, you may proceed to substantiate if you're ready.
Honorable Speaker, this is a very familiar dance, and I have agonized about the terms of Standing Order 121, that in substantiating, I must make substantiation to the satisfaction, in the opinion of the Speaker, that it has been satisfied. Honorable Speaker, I tried to put together some material, but I suspected that I was not going to be able to persuade you. And Honorable Speaker, I suspect that you also know that it might not be possible for me to withdraw those words or apologize. Honorable Speaker, therefore, I request that I sit down and await judgment as shall be directed by the Chair. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Which point of order? No. But how can it be out of order? He has declined to substantiate, and therefore sentence shall follow forthwith. Now, our standing orders are very clear. Our standing orders are very clear that if a senator is unable, in fact, if you read 105.2, if a senator, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121, unless the senator withdraws the allegations and gives a suitable apology if the Speaker so requires. And therefore, I rule that the senator for Nairobi is out of order, is disorderly and out of order, and I therefore order him to withdraw from the presence of the Senate for the remainder of the day. But just to help other members, let me read Standing Order 101 so that it can help other members who would wish to make some allegations touching on certain offices. Standing Order 101 states as follows: neither the personal conduct of the President, nor the conduct of the Speaker, or the judge, or any judge, nor the judicial conduct of any other person performing judicial functions, nor any conduct of the head of state or government or representatives in Kenya or any friendly country or the conduct of the holder of an office whose removal from such office is dependent upon the decision of the Senate shall be referred to adversely, except upon a specific substantive motion, of which at least 3 days' notice has been given. So, honorable senators, as you debate, have Standing Order 101(1) in mind. We've had honorable senators making allegations against judges. We've had honorable senators make allegations against the president. So please be guided by the standing order of this House. I will now allow comments on the statements that have been requested and made pursuant to Standing Order 56(1) for a limited period of 30 minutes, starting with Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on the statement by the Honorable Senator Wakil about the handling of police, demonstrators, and any other person. Mr. Speaker, our new constitution is very clear as to how to handle any suspect in the country, that if you are suspected of any crime, you should be taken to court within 24 hours if one has been arrested. That has not happened. Mr. Speaker, there is nowhere in our law abductions are a way of dealing with anyone or any extrajudicial matter, whether killing or keeping anyone in confinement, without the courts be aware, and that's why habeas corpus at times can be given. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, on the statement of a Kenyuri about the university doctor, student also, who passed on in circumstances which were suspected to be suicide. Mr. Speaker, the doctors have been demonstrating in the streets, and they demonstrated particularly about interns, and nothing much was done about it, and that's one of the results. Mr. Speaker, I think the health sector need to relook at the issue of interns, because interns are already doctors, having been in the university for 7 years, so that we do not have cases of frustration and the investigations like they are going on about that particular person. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cheranke. Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by the Senator of Bomet brings into focus the possibility of extrajudicial killings. I never imagined that we would be witnessing extrajudicial killings after the exit of, with due respect, the late President Moi. Mr. Speaker, Robert Chepkwony, prime age of 27 years old, while exercising his right on the matter of the economy of his county, namely tea farming, was shot dead. I don't understand what the police are doing in our villages. Mr. Speaker, as one of the most tear-gassed leaders in this country, I've been tear-gassed many times, and severally life rounds have been shot around me. It is becoming so easy these days, Mr. Speaker, to see the police in villages releasing tear gas. You and I, and many of you, we used to only smell of tear gas whenever we would go on strike at the University of Nairobi. But these days, police are following villagers into their homes. They are hardening the youth. I think time has come. We should call the inspector of police. Now he has settled into office. He acclimatizes us with the new way in which the police are using rubber bullets, tear gas, and live rounds. We must condemn this completely. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by the Senator of Migori, gold mining and copper in Makalda. Mr. Speaker, this is only speaking for what is now a national problem. You go to Ikolomani in Kakamega, Rosterman in Kakamega, Masienze in Kakamega, Liranda in Kakamega, Mr. Speaker, same story. Mr. Speaker, we have to emphasize to the new minister in the Ministry of Mining that only companies that are licensed to do gold mining should be allowed to go to Nyatige, to Kakamega, to Marsabit, to West Pokot, and Taita Taveta, where we have the rich mineral resource. These white people, in the name of licenses for exploration, they are exploiting our resource. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, a company called Shanta has been in Kolomani exploring for the last 21 years. And the minister is there. I hope my good friend, Governor Joho, will live up to it so that we bring this to the end. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the issue of intern doctors. Colleagues, an intern doctor is not a student. An intern doctor is a doctor who is working in his first year of medical practice. He has already taken the Hippocratic oath. He can practice medicine anywhere and everywhere. Let the government recognize medical intern doctors as doctors, because that is who we are. And by the way, whenever you go to Mata Hospital, Nairobi Hospital, those young people you are seeing who are treating you, they are on call. And the first people to be on the first line of call in my profession are the young doctors, the interns. So the interns are there on duty doing locum. They're the ones who are taking care of you. And when it is difficult, they invite us, the senior doctors, to then step in. Let us give them their respect. And it's a shame that a country like this, where the doctor-patient ratio is so terrible that any doctor should be finding it difficult to find employment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Eddy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I wanted to make a comment on Senator Sigei's statement. Mr. Speaker, you know this issue of police brutality, police force being misused on citizens, Mr. Speaker, is something that this House must fight. And Mr. Speaker, I was expecting that perhaps in that statement, probably the owner of that statement could have requested that one of the biggest motions that we had in this House at the time that we were faced with the lowest moment of our country, when the Gen Z movement was forced to visit this House to call Parliament to order, senators in this House, through the majority leader's motion, expressed themselves overwhelmingly on the issues of police brutality, on the issues of police mistreatment, and on the issues that goes with abduction, go with extrajudicial killing. And Mr. Speaker, it's disappointing that many moons after this conversation, the resolutions of this House that were sent to the President of this country, even a single of them has not been taken seriously. Mr. Speaker, we resolved in this House that those young people that were affected by that demonstration in terms of killing must be compensated, Mr. Speaker. There is no police who will ever know the magnitude of their deeds if those young people are not compensated. We said in this House, Mr. Speaker, that young people who have been abducted must be trained and must be released from those abductions, Mr. Speaker. We said in our resolution in this House, Mr. Speaker, that those people, young people who are arrested and are in courts for crimes that don't make sense must be forgiven, Mr. Speaker. We said in this House, Mr. Speaker, that police who have meted on Kenyans extrajudicial killings and did things that are wrong to Kenyans must be brought to book, Mr. Speaker. Now you come to a situation where many months later, Mr. Speaker, there is a statement that needs to go to a committee over the same actions of the same policemen, Mr. Speaker. What are we doing? Mr. Speaker, I think that that committee, the first stop that the committee must go to is to go to the resolution of this House that went to the President and make sure that every single issue that was in that resolution, Mr. Speaker, must be implemented. Mr. Speaker, I felt it very badly the other day when multimedia students went to riot. Actually, they were demonstrating, they're not rioting. And Mr. Speaker, a policeman, actually 3 of them, ganged up on this young man, beat him up, broke his legs, he could not be able to move, and they tried to drag him, to take him into the vehicle. And this young Kenyan, a student who's just expressing himself, Mr. Speaker, when he could not be able to walk with this policeman to the car, you heard a policeman saying, and I quote, "Tumpatie dawa kidogo," Mr. Speaker. And this dawa was basically taking a tear gas canister and throwing it on the face of an already beaten and battered young man on his campus, Mr. Speaker. This is an issue that, as a House, we must sit on and work on it and finish it once and for all, and it only starts by making sure that the resolution that we made in this House is implemented to the full, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, my last comment will be on the issue of mental health, Mr. Speaker. We passed, when we were in Turkana, Mr. Speaker, and I know that this year we are also going to Busia. In fact, a few weeks we'll be going to Busia on the Senate Mashinani. When we were in Turkana, Mr. Speaker, we did pass one of the most important bills on community health promoters, Mr. Speaker. But if you look at the status of some of the officers of who are working even in government, mental health has become a serious crisis in this country, Mr. Speaker. In Eldoret, for instance, Mr. Speaker, almost 11% of cases of suicide because of mental health is going on, Mr. Speaker. I think that in a place like Migori County, where I come from, Mr. Speaker, it will be important to expand the community health promoters network to also include some community health promoters who can be able to help our people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii, na mimi nitoe maoni yangu kuhusu maneno ambayo yaliwekwa hapa mbele na kamati, mwenyekiti wa kamati ya kawi ya bunge hili. Bwana Spika, mimi na Kenya nzima tulishuhudia wakati Waziri Chirchir alipokuwa waziri wa kawi, Kenya nzima ikienda gizani ama kukosa taa, kukosa umeme kwa usiku mzima, Kenya nzima. Jambo hili lilikuja likaregelewa wakati waziri mpya Bwana Opiyo Wandayi alipochaguliwa. Punde tu akaenda kufanya sherehe, tena Kenya nzima ikawa katika hali ya giza. Na nyakati hizi zote mbili, aibu zote hizi mbili ambazo Kenya, ambao ni uchumi mkubwa katika bara Afrika, ilipata, tumeelezewa kwamba kuna shida ya kubeba ama uchukuzi wa ile kawi, instability katika kubeba ile kawi kutoka sehemu moja mpaka ingine. Na tumeambiwa kwamba shida ni kwamba KETRACO wanapata shida kwa sababu ya kukosa yani instability ya ile system. Kukosa yani instability ya ile system. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, juzi tumepata habari kutoka kwa vyombo vya habari na kwingineko kwamba kuna group ama kuna watu ambao wanataka kuwekeza kwa sehemu ya Kawi, na grupu hii Bwana Spika ni watu wa Adani. Tungependa sana kamati ya Kawi wawaite hawa watu kuhusu uwekezaji wa pesa zao na pesa za wananchi wa Kenya katika sekta hii ya Kawi. Tunataka kujua kama kweli kuna ukweli kuhusu maneno ya KETRACO, na kama ni kweli, je, mipango hii iko wazi? Hatutaki kukaa kungojea tuje tuambiwe baadaye kama haya yanayofanyika upande wa uwanja wa ndege. Tunataka sasa kamati hii ya Kawi ya Senate watafute ukweli, waite waziri wa Kawi, waite katibu wa kudumu, waite kampuni ya KETRACO, waelezee wa Kenya kama kuna ukweli ndani ya madai haya ya kwamba kuna uwezekano wa kuleta pesa ili stability patikane katika usambazaji wa Kawi katika Kenya hii. Ya pili na mwisho, Bwana Spika, nimefurahi sana na ninampongeza Mheshimiwa Hamida kwa vile ameyashughulikia sana mambo ya afya ya kiakili. Mimi ningependa wakati kamati hii inaangalia kuhusu swala la alilolileta hapa kwa bunge hili, kwamba ikiwezekana tunataka kujua kama kungewekwa pesa ama investment katika kila kaunti ya Kenya kwa ajili ya wafanyikazi wa serikali ambao wanapata shida ya kimawazo, haswa wale ambao wanafanya kazi za usalama. Ingekuwa ni jambo la maana kamati pia iangalie kama kaunti zote tungekuwa na centers ama mahali ambapo wafanyikazi wa kiserikali haswa wa sekta ya usalama wao wanaenda na kupata usaidizi, kwa sababu Bwana Spika, tumepata shida nyingi na habari mbaya ya watu wetu ambao wanafanya kazi kwa kitengo cha usalama. Unasikia mtu ameenda na aliyaona kule alikoenda, kisha mwisho akakimbia ile kazi kwa sababu ameona mazito na ile kazi ameiwacha. Watoto wanaumia, amerudi kwenda kazi za mjengo kwa sababu kule hawezi kwenda tena. Na tunapoteza watu wengi ambao wangeendelea kutusaidia kwa upande wa mtengo wa usalama. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kama hiyo kamati ya Senate inaangalia mambo hayo, waangalie pia uwezekano wa kutoa recommendation kwamba kila county tuwe na mahali ambapo watu wa serikali, wafanyikazi wa serikali wanaweza kwenda kupata usaidizi kwa mambo ya mental health. Asante sana Bwana Speaker.
Senator Orwoba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the women of Kenya, and particularly the widows of this country, I'd like to add my voice to Senator Miraj's statement, Mr. Speaker. For those who have been following, Senator Miraj has highlighted a case where you have a widow who is following up on properties that were owned by the family, particularly the husband, and a bank account was used to take an overdraft of 59 million. And in that instance, Mr. Speaker, it appears as if the bank, Diamond Trust Bank, somehow colluded with people, according to her statement, and ensured that they then auctioned properties worth 70 million to allegedly claim back this 59 million that was taken as an overdraft from an account of a deceased person, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the reason I stand to add my voice on this is because day in and out, I receive so many complaints from women, particularly widows or daughters of men who have passed away, and there's a lot of property that is up for grabs, Mr. Speaker. More often than not, you will see that even the discrepancies on how women are being dealt with at these banking institutions is that they start asking you for all sorts of documentation just to ensure that you are unable to follow on the unclaimed financial assets of the deceased persons, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've been on record in this House talking about the Unclaimed Financial Assets as well, the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFA, who are dealing with certain matters that touch on assets of those who have passed away, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate now that Miss Ali, she's called Miss Noor Ali Islam, who is the widow of Anwar Mohammed Bayusuf, has lost property worth 70 million, and on top of that, the bank is still claiming that there is a 17 million balance that was accrued due to this overdraft, the alleged overdraft that was taken after the man had passed on, Mr. Speaker. This kind of banking fraud is very, very common, Mr. Speaker, and the target most of the time is women. Women who most of the time they entrust their banking and their finances and their assets to the men, to their husbands, to their spouses, their partners. And unfortunately, when they pass on, they are found in these circumstances where it is up for grabs, Mr. Speaker. I want to particularly speak to the CBK because I'm dealing with so many of these cases, and every time you go to central bank asking for certain things or even just inquiring on certain procedures, even when it comes to auctioning, Mr. Speaker, as a woman, it's so difficult. They almost force you to get money to go and get a legal representative. It becomes a whole other affair, Mr. Speaker. So on behalf of the women of Kenya, and particularly the widows, Mr. Speaker, I hope that when this statement, because it has been referred to the Standing Committee of Finance and Budget, which is the same committee that I referred the statement of unclaimed financial assets, Mr. Speaker, I hope that when this statement reaches there, it will be dealt with, not as they dealt with the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, because, Mr. Speaker, they have not come back to me on all the inquiries, and some of them were touching on issues such as this. I hope that the chair and the committee will take this matter seriously, because women are suffering, Mr. Speaker. Some of us who are daughters of our fathers who passed on are still dealing with issues of assets. And the fundamental basis of this statement is that it is actually a form of gender-based violence, Mr. Speaker, that is targeted at women in the assumption that we do not understand finances, in the assumption that we do not know issues on banking, in the assumption that we cannot fight for our assets, Mr. Speaker. So I hope that that committee deals with it, as I will also be pursuing the issue of the unclaimed financial assets. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Beatrice Kenya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement by Senator Esther Okunyuri. And Honorable Speaker, I feel for the family and for the life lost of a skilled officer, the doctor intern that is supposedly had committed suicide. Honorable Speaker, as we go around selling the resources of our country, if it is not an allegation of an airport being sold, it could be a port or any other major resource of this country, we should be paying attention to the challenges that the public sectors are experiencing. Mr. Speaker, sir, if it is, well, just the other few days ago, the interns, doctor interns were on the streets. And Honorable Speaker, if it is not the doctors, it is the lecturers running around on the streets. If it is not the lecturers, we have teachers demonstrating on the streets. And Honorable Speaker, this is not a death in isolation. We have often seen or heard about police officers who shoot their whole families and kill themselves, Honorable Speaker. We have had teachers who've committed suicide. I rise here to just say that in a neighboring ward from where I come from, called Kanyikela Ward in Dewa Sub-County, we have had 2 teachers committing suicide, Honorable Speaker. So if it is not teachers committing suicide, it is police officers killing themselves or killing their families. And here we have a doctor intern. Honorable Speaker, we all know what goes on in the training of doctors. And so it is an unfortunate situation, and as a country, we must attend to the challenges that are bedeviling the public sector. Honorable Speaker, when I come to the statement by the Senator of Bomnet, I feel for the demonstrators, but Honorable Speaker, it brings me back to the video we all watched, of, if not all, on the day the multimedia students were demonstrating, Honorable Speaker. It was so unfortunate, so painful for me as a mother to see a young, helpless man being beaten brutally by police officers. And Honorable Speaker, on this day in the evening, one young girl wrote to me, and I invite all the police officers out there to listen to what this young girl said. These police officers are not seeing the future. Their own kids and relatives won't be able to afford those school fees. And Honorable Speaker, this was a writing from a young girl, barely 19 years old. But it tells all of us about the fear the young people have about their future. Honorable Speaker, I condemn the killing of the demonstrators along with the killing of other demonstrators in the past. The senseless killing that we saw on the 25th of June, Honorable Speaker, and a number of parents, we are still being told that a number of people are still looking for their lost children or brothers or sisters. The question we are posing to the government is, where are these people? We last saw a number of bodies from some quarry. Incidentally, there were only one gender. The question is, who was this that was just choosing on women or girls? Where are the boys? Where are the bodies of the boys that they could have been with? Honorable Speaker, as a country, we must attend to the challenges that the public sector is going through. If it is low investment, as a country, we must look into it. I feel for the intern doctor. I feel for all the Kenyans who go through that suffering. Mr. Speaker, sir, I support.
Senator Karungo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on the statement that was requested by Senator Miraj Abdullahi on the issue of Buxton. Yes, it is true at the Committee of Roads and Transportation and Housing, we looked into this matter and concluded the issue. But it is very sad to hear that the county government of Mombasa has not implemented the resolutions or the recommendations that we gave. That is to share the housing units to the 184 former tenants of Buxton Estate. And Mr. Speaker, it's also sad to note that the same people who had requested, who has petitioned this house, and that's why we investigated this issue, have not benefited from the ruling or the recommendations of our committee. Mr. Speaker, we are going to look into this issue again by inviting the governor of Mombasa, because it is sad that this house is taken for a ride, or they are not taking our resolution seriously, and when it comes to the county governments, Mr. Speaker. And I'm going to join that statement with the other statement that was requested by Senator Esther Okenyuri on the issue of Dr. Desri Mora Obogi. As Kiambu, we have lost a doctor who it is said that she died of suicide at the Kiambu Gatundu County Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker. I would urge the Committee of Health to invite the governor of Kiambu to come and explain the working conditions of the people or the doctors in these hospitals, Mr. Speaker. Because we realize that doctors in Kiambu County First of all, they don't get their salaries on time. And second of all, Mr. Speaker, they were moved from the NHIF that we all know that covers their medical expenses to a private to a private insurance company called MUA, Mr. Speaker. And I brought that statement here, and it is almost a year, and the Committee on Health has not responded, neither invited the Governor of Kiambu to come and explain, Mr. Speaker. So I recommend that the Governor should be here so that the working conditions of doctors in Kiambu County are well taken care of. Because you cannot go to a doctor to get treatment, yet the doctor is sick himself or is suffering from something, Mr. Speaker. So they should be taken care of mentally, financially, and even working condition, Mr. Speaker. So I support those two statements.
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the statement on copper and gold mining in Nyatike sub-county in Migori County as a statement that mirrors mining in various parts of this country. I think we've had the Kakamega mines, same framework. We have mining in other counties, including Siaya County. Mr. Speaker, this statement speaks to political interest in the mining industry and the need to ensure that those who engage in these activities under the Mining Act comply with the law and ensure that all and sundry who engage in mining through subsidiaries and companies, and Mr. Speaker, there is a growing infiltration of Chinese miners who go into counties, get into arrangements with some of our governors and county governments. And Mr. Speaker, what we witnessed in Makalda, in Migori, is an embarrassment, where the governor and an MCA were involved in scuffles because of the lack of understanding and or clear compliance with the legal framework that governs mining in that area, and clear interests, Mr. Speaker, that are palpable. Mr. Speaker, I know Makalda has been an area where gold and copper have been mined by individuals for a long time. And I think a lot of Migori, as a county, has that problem. Mr. Speaker, the Environment and Land Committee needs to put to a halt sporadic problems that arise in various counties in this country because of unregulated mining. We have seen, even in Kwale County, we have issues touching on mining. I call upon, Mr. Speaker, the chair of the Committee on Lands and Environment to visit Migori County. This will help as an example, in my view, to have a clear framework between the role that counties play and the shares that counties get from mining, because such shares, Mr. Speaker, go well into activities or CSR that will ensure that residents of the particular county benefit from mining activities. We know, for instance, the ratios involving, we've had ratios involving mining where national, both national and county governments ought to benefit from the activity. But the activities, Mr. Speaker, sir, must be regulated first. Mr. Speaker, I hope that this statement by Senator Eddie Okech will lead to this committee visiting Makalda so that we can ascertain, Mr. Speaker, the framework that governs the mining of copper and gold in Migori County, because that will then also, Mr. Speaker, help with the regulation of mining so that other counties can also learn from this framework, because the Migori one is a big embarrassment and has exposed this sector and the role that foreigners play in mining and basically in prospecting, mining, and commercialization of minerals that we know under the Mining Act essentially belong to government. That is the first, the Mining Act. Minerals and mineral oils belong to government. But we now see that delicate framework between the national and the 47 county governments. Mr. Speaker, this is an important feat. I ask the chair, Mr. Methu, aside his other Murima activities, to focus on this area. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mundigi.
Bwana Spika, nataka kuchangia mambo ya ambayo ilikuwa nazungumzia mambo ya hela ya county. Yangu ni kusema ni asante sana kwa wale magavana ambaye tumewaona wa
Senator Mundigi, unachangia zile
hapana
ambazo zimeuliziwa?
No.
Ngoja mpaka tufikie ile hoja ambayo unataka kuzungumzia.
Asante Bwana Spika.
Next order. Now, honorable senators, I will, pursuant to Standing Order 45, to rearrange the order paper. We will now move to prosecute order number 16. Clerk, proceed to call that order, please.
Order number 16, the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024. Second reading.
Now, honorable senators, the floor is open for debate on the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024. Senator Mundigi Alexander Munye.
Kaunti zetu 47. Yangu ni kushukuru magavana ambaye tulisikia wakitanjwa ama wale walikuwa kwa orodha ambayo wamefanya kazi nzuri, na vile walifanya vizuri kwa sababu ni njia ya kutuonyesha ushujaa wa kusaidia ukatusi katika mashinani. Nikitaka kusema yangu si ungi mkono ambaye kupunguza ile hela county zinapatiwa, kwa sababu tukikumbuka mwaka uliopita county zote tulipatia bilioni 385, na tukiwapatia zile hela magavana walikuwa nataka bilioni 425, na tulikuwa tunaona hizo pesa tukiwapatia asitaweza kusaidia ukatuzi katika mashinani. Kama nikiangalia katika Embu County, hizo pesa ya mwaka jana ilikuwa bilioni 385. Sisi katika Embu County, Madam Speaker, Embu County tulipata bilioni 5,200, na katika Embu County hizo bilioni 5,200 huwa unakuwa gavana na serikali yake na MCA wakikaa chini kwenda kusema vile sitafanya kazi, unakuta katika Embu County kuna shinda, kwa sababu unakuta gavana wakati alichaguliwa alikuta pending bill na wage bill, na zile hela vile sinafanya kazi unakuta pending wage bill huwa kila mwezi analipa milioni 250, na assembly anaipatia milioni kama 50. Unakuta ile hela sinabakia pesa kidogo. Kwa hivyo Speaker, mimi naona hizi pesa haisitoshi. Pia unakuta katika kazi ya county kama Embu, zile hela unakuta inafaa kila shule ya mchingi yote iwe na ECD moja, na unakuta hakuna pesa ya kufanya hiyo kazi. Unakuta hiyo hela ashtosi, unakuta Kenya mzima. Mambo ya kuangalia mambo ya kazi sio mambo ya MP, ni mambo yetu tukiwa maseneta. Tukisema for example, kama tukiangalia kama sasa county, hata kama tunatetea mambo ya pesa, wamekuwa na shinda hata ya kulipa misahara. Unakuta county nyingi, ikiwa moja ni county ya Embu, Speaker, unakuta pesa inakaa kama miezi 3. Kama sasa Speaker, kutoka Julai, mwezi wa 7, mwezi wa 8, mwezi wa 9, unakuta Treasury hainjapeana pesa katika county zetu, ikiwa county ya Embu, unakuta magavana wanaumia sana. Kwa hiyo ningeomba serikali kuu iweze kupatia magavana pesa ile inafaa. Speaker, tukiangalia kama ni MPs, unakuta constituency moja MP amepatiwa milioni 150. Hapo anaongezewa milioni 60 ya parapara. Hapo tumesikia njuzi wameongezewa milioni kama 50 ya kuweka stima na uwezo fund. Sasa unakuta wamepatiwa pesa nyingi, na unakuta sisi tunatetea ukatusi, unakuta magavana wananyimwa pesa. Kwa mimi nikiwa senator wa Embu County, mimi napinga mara 100 mambo ya hiyo pesa, wapatiwe ile pesa tulipitisha bilioni 400, kwa sababu sisi tuko hapa kutetea mwananchi ambaye ule yako masinani. Speaker, mpaka tuangalie sisi tukiwa maseneta 67 tuamuke na tutetee devolution, kwa sababu pesa nyingi ile tuliwapatia tulikuwa tunatarajia ifike bilioni 425, lakini tuwapatia bilioni 400. Kwa hivyo ningetaka kupinga ile pesa imepatiwa ukatuzi. Hiyo ingine, magavana mimi naunga mkono wote, hata kama kuna wengine wako na shida kidogo, lakini aswa magavana akina mama ni yeko kwa nyinyi. Kama na gavana ambaye ni wa kutoka Embu, gavana mwingine kutoka huko Omambe, mandamu wa gavana Omambe, umefanya kazi mzuri sana. Wewe umetusaidia kuonyesha kuinua wakina mama muendee hivyo, na tutaunga mkono ile kazi yenu mnafanya. Hiyo ingine nataka kusema, magavana wengine akina mama na wale akina wazee waangalie ile kazi imefanywa na gavana wa Omambe na gavana wa Embu, wanaendelea kufanya kazi nzuri. Kwa hiyo Speaker, mimi napinga kabisa ukatusi, ipatiwe pesa ile ya kutosha. Hii pesa ya CDF, sina shinda mambo ya pesa ya CDF, lakini MPs uangalie ile kazi inafanywa masinani, na unakuta shinda ya gavana, kama ni mama anataka mtoto, anapata mtoto, anapelekwa hospitali. Kama ni watoto wa ECD, hakuna shule, mambo mingi, hiyo pesa haitoshi. Mambo ya maji, unakuta magavana wengi saa hii wako na vita ati wafanye kazi. Kama ukienda kwa magavana wako na shida nyingi. Kwa hivyo nataka Speaker kupinga ile pesa tulipeana bilioni 400, governor counties siweze kupatiwa. Asante Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mudigi. Senator Chimera Raphael.
Asante Speaker kwa fursa hii niweze kupeana changizo yangu katika mswada huu wote. Speaker, mimi naunga mkono mswada huu, lakini kwa masikitiko makubwa sana Speaker. Kwa masikitiko kwa sababu Speaker, nafikiri bunge hili lilipata fursa hapo awali kuweza kupitisha ile fedha ambayo kwamba inakwenda katika county zetu. County yangu ya Kwale ikiwemo bwana Speaker. Speaker, kumradhi. Na mswada huu Speaker, tumepoteza nafikiri takriban bilioni 20. Tuliweza kupitisha bilioni 400 hapo awali, na naona katika ile orodha ya fedha nayo kwenda kwa kaunti zetu katika mwaka wa kifedha wa serikali mwaka huu Speaker ni bilioni 380, ambapo kwamba tunaona kuna upungufu wa bilioni 20. Speaker, ni wazi bayana kwamba magavana wetu wanapata tabu sana na dhiki katika utendakazi wao kwa sababu ya ile shida yote ya fedha nchini mwetu. Miradi mbalimbali imeweza kusimama, na hata jana nafikiri seneta kutoka kaunti ya Machakos aliweza kuleta hoja ndani ya bunge hili kuhusu hali halisi na ya utathmini ya miradi mbalimbali katika kaunti zetu. Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha kuona kwamba kila siku, kila kukicha, gavana ukimuuliza ni kwa nini mradi fulani umekwama. Kwa mfano kwetu Kwale utapata kuna miradi hata basari ambapo tunapeana hundi ya fedha kwa wanafunzi wetu katika ule mpango wetu mzima wa elimu ni sasa initiative. Speaker, mpango ule kwa sasa una hatihati, wanafunzi wetu hawawezi kwenda shuleni kwa sababu serikali yetu ya county haina fedha. Vile vile tumepania miradi tofauti ikiwemo kuweza kuboresha barabara zetu, kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba huduma za afya hususan tunayo hospitali yetu ya county ya Kinango ambayo kwamba imeleta joto sana pale county ya Kwale. Utapata huduma pale zimesambaratika, huduma pale imeweza kudorora, wagonjwa wanapata tabu, madaktari pia morali imekwenda chini, na sio kwamba ni mapenzi ya wale ambao wako katika uongozi katika kaunti zile, lakini ni hali hii yote ya fedha. Naona kwamba tunaipatia serikali zetu gatuzi fedha kidogo, na niweze tu kuomba ombi kwa serikali kuu ya kwamba ugatuzi ni kitu ambacho kinatufaidi sisi kama Wakenya, na sote tulilikubali kama Wakenya kwamba tutaleta ugatuzi ndio ili Mkenya aweze kupata faida maradufu pale mashinani. Si jambo la sawa na ni jambo la kutisha kuona kwamba serikali kuu inazinyima serikali zetu za ugatuzi fedha hata kama hamna fedha. Lakini nafikiri nina imani kwamba uongozi wa sasa waweze kutafuta suluhu na namna gani ambapo kwamba watahakikisha kwamba serikali za ugatuzi zinapata fedha zaidi na fedha ya kutosha kulipa madeni yao, kusukuma miradi katika nyanjani. Sio sawa kuwanyima fedha kwa sababu ya hii hali yote ya kifedha nchini. Mimi nina imani kwamba tukipunguza haya masuala yote ya ubadilifu wa fedha, masuala yote ya kuhakikisha kwamba pesa inaibiwa katika serikali kuu, na kuhakikisha kwamba wale ambao wanachukua ushuru na wanatafuta fedha ya kitaifa na umma inapatikana kwa haraka iwezekanavyo, na tumeweza kuhakikisha kwamba imepatikana na magavana wanapewa fedha. Kwa sababu ikiwa tutanyamaza hapa kama maseneta, hatupigi kelele na kila saa tunapitisha tu sheria ambayo inawahujumu magavana, nafikiri sio sawa. Hawa magavana hawa tunawalaumu, lakini wanahitaji kupewa fedha ya kutosha ndio ili ugatuzi uweze kuonekana kweli unafanya kazi katika kaunti zetu. Asante sana Bisiwa kwa fursa hii. Mimi ninaunga mkono mswada huu, lakini bado pia nina hatihati. Asante bwana Bispeaker.
Senator Ogola Beatrice Akinyi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from the word go, I want to emphasize that more money should be taken to our counties, Madam Speaker. So the issue of a proposal that the 400 billion that we had voted for as a Senate to be taken to the counties to be reduced does not arise, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue of devolution was supported massively in this country because the basis of devolution was that services should be taken closer to the people. And Madam Speaker, our people down at the levels of the grassroots do not care whether services are going to be given by counties or by the national government. For the people of Kenya, all they want are services to them. Services that range from health, the provision of water, access roads, and all services that they require, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we debate this, we must take into consideration that over 80% of the monies we have in this country remain at the hands of the national government. So, Madam Speaker, the little that is taken to the counties, and for this matter, the 400 billion that was discussed should never, ever be touched, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from the word go, At the onset of devolution, the services that were taken to the counties under the Schedule 4 were not costed. But they remain very heavy services, Madam Speaker. If you look at health and the investment that should be made at health, Madam Speaker, it is so much. Madam Speaker, we have water. For the provision for services of water to be given to our people is at a cost. We are not here looking at small investment of water that even counties do at the level of 2 million or 1 million, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, even the water investment that the national government do leaves out the idea of distributing this water once an investment has been done. And so the whole infrastructure of distributing this water to our people, Madam Speaker, is left to the counties. Madam Speaker, we've often heard when no monies have been taken to the counties, our people get stranded at the health centers, at the dispensaries, and at the hospitals for lack of medicine, Madam Speaker. And that is the reason why I rise here to support the fact that the 400 billion that we debated and approved here should not be touched, Madam Speaker. If there is a shortfall, as there is, the national government must meet that shortfall, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, just recently, we have had issues of disasters. Just a few months ago, we were confronted with massive floods in this country. And attending to the issue of this disaster was not only limited to the national government. Where there were flood challenges, we saw the contribution, and our people expected the counties to reach them even faster because the counties are closer to our people. If the counties are not given adequate money, Madam Speaker, even the 400 billion we are talking about here is not enough for the countries. How will our people be attended to when there are such disasters as floods? And in this country, we know that as soon as we deal with the issue of floods, at the next few months, then we are going to deal with the issue of droughts. And with droughts, Madam Speaker, comes a number of challenges, because there will be no water for domestic use. There will not be water for use by even livestock keepers. And Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, that calls for the counties to have money to attend to these disasters. These disasters are not only limited to floods or drought. Just the other day, we saw the issue of fire outbreaks. And Madam Speaker, with the upcoming urban centers in our counties, the counties are going to deal with also upsurge of issues of fire. Madam Speaker, some of the services that the counties have to perform, for example, if you come to the roads department, the roads that we call county roads, that the counties have a mandate to open up and maintain. Madam Speaker, historically, we know these are the roads that have been undeveloped for a number of years since independence. And these are the key roads. These are roads that our people use in the wards, from ward to ward, from a village to village. And if they are not opened, Madam Speaker, then our counties cannot grow. And as a people and as leaders, we need these counties to not only be opened, but also to be maintained. Madam Speaker, when you come to education, We all come from some village, and we have a picture of the state of our early childhood classes, what we call ECDs, or currently referred to as eye centers, Madam Speaker. As a country, we should be proud of